Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBit Solutions. I wanted to talk about the correlation that I've been noticing with MicroStrategy and Bitcoin and how MicroStrategy is almost decaying in the way that Bitcoin returns back to 100,000 or 99,000, but MicroStrategy doesn't seem to have that same uptick. You guys let me know down in the comment section what you think, but I thought that I would share this with you. So first off, why is MicroStrategy so bullish today? It's up 13.22%. I didn't trade this today. I have a pretty funny story for you guys, but an amazing uptrend. It hit highs of 343. So the article that I saw is MicroStrategy stock price rebounds after a 200 million plus Bitcoin purchase, which if you really think about it, I don't think MicroStrategy has purchased less than $1 billion in quite a few months. So for it to purchase $200 million plus, I mean, in my opinion, it's running on fumes, right? It's trying to continue to capture this explosive bull run that is no longer showing signs of progress. We'll see how this continues, but the thing that I find very interesting about this is, again, I was just looking at previous patterns. And let's look at the current price level of where MicroStrategy is at and where Bitcoin is at. For those that do not know, MicroStrategy is a company, it's a software company, but it's become very popular, going from lows of $30 all the way to highs of $500 because this company now only buys Bitcoin. I'm not joking, they view it as a super innovative new company, but all it literally does is it buys Bitcoin by borrowing money against their investors at 0% interest. So in my opinion, if you're so bullish on Bitcoin, why not just buy Bitcoin itself? If a company buys an asset, it shouldn't be trading at a multiple of that asset that it's investing in. It's like an ETF. If it follows gold, that ETF should not be trading at 3 or 4 times of what the projected value of gold is. It should be based off of what the current value of gold is. But nonetheless, again, that's a conversation for another time. As of right now, MicroStrategy is trading at $340 per share, but Bitcoin is trading nearly at $98,000 to $99,000 per coin. So the really funny thing about this is like, well, let's come back and see the previous times that it's tested 100,000, right? The previous time that it tested 100,000 was right around December, right? You guys can see the date down here, December 24th to December 25th. That was the previous time that Bitcoin was at highs of 99, almost 100,000. But the unfortunate part for this is that, well, if we look back to December 24th and 25th, that means that MSTR should be trading at 370 or 365 per share at the low end, because that's where it was trading at on December 25th when Bitcoin was trading at 100,000 per coin. But again, it's not. It is trading, let's look at this exactly. It is trading about 7.5% lower. It gets even better. If we look at Bitcoin and the previous times that it's even traded, when it originally hit highs of right around 100,000, I think it hit 99,500 before it retraced. That is dating back to November 22nd. If you look at MicroStrategy on the same date, November 22nd, you could see that it was trading at right around $454. Again, you can't make this up. I'm simply looking at the correlation of the asset that this company is buying and that is being valued at, right? Because at the end of the day, if it's not hyped up, as a lot of MicroStrategy investors like to say, then why is there this discrepancy? Why is it that now MicroStrategy, when it was previously, when Bitcoin was previously trading at 100,000, we went from 453, and then Bitcoin retraced, then went back to retest, and then once again, we're now trading at 360, 370, and then again, Bitcoin goes back to 100,000, but now MicroStrategy only hits highs of 340. It's almost like a rate of decay. If you've traded ETFs, you kind of know what I'm talking about. But obviously, this is not a rate of decay. This is simply a stock that is overhyped up, that is losing its steam. And not only can you notice, it's like blatantly obvious that it's losing its steam. Now, can it still make money on the long run? Of course. I mean, today's a great example. It can share bullshit news like, hey, we're purchasing $200 million of Bitcoin to try to hype up investors and artificially pump this worthless stock, because all this company does is buy Bitcoin. Now again, don't get me wrong, $200 million is a lot of money. It is nothing in comparison to what MicroStrategy has purchased in its past. 4 billion, 5 billion, it's all in the billions, but now 200 million, why slow down now, right? It makes sense because if you guys have read many articles about MicroStrategy, a lot of their big investors are getting concerned about how aggressive Michael Saylor, who's the co-founder of MicroStrategy, is being, while Bitcoin is kind of lagging. If you guys have noticed, Bitcoin has really not shown much progress beyond 108,000. It's testing its crucial support of 90,000, and if Bitcoin begins to free fall, we all know one thing. If MicroStrategy overreacted on the way up, it's going to overreact on the way down if MicroStrategy breaks its support after Bitcoin breaks its support. But again, the main thing that I wanted to share with you guys today was the correlation that I saw between MicroStrategy and the discrepancy with Bitcoin. Every time that Bitcoin returns back to 100,000, MicroStrategy is simply forming a lower high based off of the previous price it was trading at the last time Bitcoin was trading at 100,000. You guys let me know what you think. Again, the thing that I'm most excited about for next week is that if MicroStrategy continues to pump up, I want to see if it can get closer to the 360, 370 range, because I would love to short the life out of MicroStrategy. And it's, again, the more overbought it becomes, the more margin for potential pullback that it begins to offer. And we all know one thing, just like SMCI, just like GameStop, these pump and dumps eventually will end up losing their hype and they'll come crashing right back down. We started talking about MicroStrategy at $500 per share on why it's an overhyped up piece of shit company. And since it's lost 45% of its value, now again, this is a very simple focus that we have where you identify an overhyped up, overvalued company and you wait for it to begin to indicate signs of a reversal. And we did that very beautifully from highs of 548 all the way to its lows that it made of 285, selling off 48, nearly 50%. Now again, I don't know about you, but I don't call that a little pullback. A 50% crash is that within itself, a 50% crash. So super excited to follow up. Again, there's no reason to fight the trend. If this thing continues to rip up, let it rip up. But we all know one thing, it pays to be patient in this market. So again, wait for that indication of a resistance. We wait for that confirmation of a reversal, and we choose to strike, not when we want to, like all those bag holders, but when it makes the most sense. We'll be talking about this more during our live trading session with the LPP team. I trade live every single morning. If you ever want to tune on in, it's the second link in the description down below. You can join for one of our biggest discounts. And again, second link down below, you can watch me trade live as soon as Monday. I appreciate your time like always. Let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.